All right, so jumping right into the lightning lesson, finding the warmest path to accounts. First, what I will do is define what a cold prospect is. So basically, this is someone who has never heard of you, has no indication that they're about to buy something. And you'll sometimes see the LinkedIn sales gurus on LinkedIn giving you like the best lingo to make these people automatically interested in buying your product. Something like this below. Never met me, but you know what? You should buy us. Which does work sometimes, but we're going to just quickly show you some different alternative warmer pathways into accounts, some of which using UserGems, and then we'll also show you some other ones just to see where you can see UserGems ranking among some of your other tools. So quick overview, had to put demo requests on hot. These are someone like a hand raiser, someone who's like, I want to talk to you sales about the product right now. Going into your more traditional UserGems use cases, so people who know you and then change jobs and move to a new company. So your past buyers, someone who was involved in an opportunity, past end users, people who needed your product to get through their day-to-day tasks and couldn't imagine going to a new company, not having your product and having to either do this manually or just not have an area to use this at all. Past prospects are getting a little bit colder, but I will outline the best prospects to reach out to and how. Also giving you some ideas on how we reach out to these types of UserGems internally at UserGems. Referrals can always be hit and miss. If you figured out how to run an effective referral program, please email me. It's so much trial and error trying to get people to refer your champions, to refer their friends, their colleagues to your product, even if they love you. So if you've figured out a way to make that work at scale, let me know. And then people who started new jobs. This is a part of UserGems that not everyone is aware of. We can fill in the people who are changing jobs into your target accounts as more of a person-based intent rather than an account-based intent. And then going on colds, I already defined it. People that don't know you, they're not considering you. It's a lot harder to get them to book a meeting. I'm not going to sit through and kind of go through why you should track closed won opportunity contacts. I'm hoping everyone on the call here, if you're a customer, tracks your closed won opportunity contacts. If you don't, please do so immediately when you get off this call. They are 3 times more likely to buy again. They are not as likely to come back as you might think. Stay tuned on some insights there at UserGems. And sales cycles are shorter. So something that I've been hearing a lot from sales and marketing leaders as I'm doing some research is that deal velocity is one of the #1 pain points right now. How do we move people through the funnel faster? This is going to be your best bet. Some best practices here, and maybe you're not going to want to hear them, but I promise that our machine learning team has analyzed 5,000 opportunities and found us a ton of insights. Do not rush getting them into a demo. The same rules apply. Avoid friction during their first 2 weeks of a job change. Don't ask them for a demo right in the first meeting. On our own internal sequence, we don't ask them to do anything for, I think it's either 12 or 14 days. So get in there early. You don't want them to forget you. You want them to know that you're on the table in terms of new tech, but you don't want to stress them out when they just change jobs. Same rules of sales apply. So a lot of the times what is happening is you're like, this person loves me. I'll reach out to them once, maybe shoot them one phone call. If they don't respond to me, they're not going to buy again. That's not necessarily the case. It is a lot easier to have your champions book a meeting with you, but still follow at least 10 touch points, reaching out to these champions. Our sequence is 57 days. We found that 50 to 65 days is the sweet spot for sequences and cadences. And our most successful subject line, so first email that we send, is your experience with UserGems at past company. They have insane open rates. They have crazy response rates. It's always well received. So if you wanted to steal anything, feel free to steal the subject line. Past users, a little underrated, I would say. A lot of the times they're like, they're not a decision maker. I don't care, which might be the case probably most of the time. A lot of the times you're going to be using users to create groundswell in these new accounts, get them talking to their peers and saying like, this is an awful task. I used to do it this way at my last company and we had this tool. Getting them to act as a referral could be a little bit difficult, but getting them to be an advocate is something that is possible with the right messaging. So the way that we do this here is we reach out kind of the same subject line, your experience with UserGems, and then we flat out say, we're building a use case for your new company, was hoping to get some ideas and feedback. You can find out some really interesting information this way. You can find out like what their workflow looks like right now, what tools they're using, when is the renewal up for that, figure out what the pain points are in the ground floor, what are they spending too much time on, and take everything that you learned in either this email or a quick Zoom video or whatever type of processor you use and say, hey, I spoke to some members of your team, heard that you're using this to solve this problem, getting the feedback that it's not going very well. Here are some areas of opportunities that I heard from your team, and that route. So not only trying to get them to just say, hey, I have a referral to your manager who's going to buy me, but figure out a little bit of research first, and try to get a little bit more leverage with the DM. I've been seeing more and more people track past prospects, and I've been seeing more and more people doing it a little bit, I would say, not necessarily the wrong way, but not the most efficient way. So a lot of the times you're tracking these past prospects that maybe showed interest in purchasing your tool sometime in the past life, and then they move companies, and the point of tracking them is to make sure that they have some familiarity with your tool, had a reason to buy in the past, at some point were really interested, and then for whatever reason, maybe they didn't have the budget, maybe they had some types of risks, they weren't able to move forward. So with this one, we're going to tell you the types of past prospects that you should be tracking to make sure that past prospects changing jobs is still a beneficial channel for you. So they do need to be, from a recommendation, at least mid-funnel, if not even later than that. So a lot of the times, if you're tracking like stage 1, stage 2, they're kind of in discovery. They're like, maybe I have this problem, not urgent to fix it. This is kind of cool. I want to learn more about it. That might not be the best prospect to track for a job change and then have the team to reach out to their next company. Something that we would recommend doing instead is tracking them from a certain stage on, tracking them from attended a specific amount of meetings, if that's something that you tracked for, and also making sure that they're closed lost for, in quotes, a good reason. Something like I mentioned before, they just didn't have the bandwidth at that company. They didn't have the right tools to make your product worth it. They got shut down immediately from their CFO, even after they fought for you for weeks. So these are really good prospects to track. Again, going back to that deal velocity, you have to spend less time with the education and the proving that your product actually is going to help them solve a problem, because they first identified and care about the problem that you fix, because that one is important. And the second one being, you can skip a lot of that introductory phase of them not really understanding what the product does. So in terms of our past prospects changing to a new company sequences, we just write congrats, comma, first name. It's, again, really crazy simple. These are our best response rates. These are our best open rates. If you take anything again from this one, consider changing who you're tracking for past prospects, or just kind of digging deeper into who you're tracking. If you're not tracking them, definitely consider it. They are really great if you get the right ones. And maybe consider changing a subject line. Congrats, first name. Who would have known? This last one here is just buyers changing jobs into an account that you care about. So think about it this way. You have a list of target accounts, or at least accounts that you know your product would be a good fit for, someone in your ICP. They get a new VP, they get a new senior director, they get a new insert your persona that you sell to here and would buy your product. And they're trying to take it up in the first 100 days. Right now, it's really difficult to retain tools. So right now, people are coming in and they're saying, what do I have in my tech stack? What do I want to put in my tech stack? They're trying to figure out what problems they want to solve quickly. So something to be in the know here is if a new buyer changes jobs into your account. They also have normally a new budget when they come with a new title, even if it's a promotion or a new job in general. So these people, they might not know you yet, but they are likely to be in a buying stage at this specific trigger time. And what we do at UserGems is we're able to surface if someone was hired or promoted into a role that you care about at your target accounts, and make it really easy to send them to a sequence. So this lives within our own app. It can live within Salesforce as well. And we're able to very quickly identify and automatically add these contacts to your accounts. So what we do here in our own instance is we send a gift. If that's not something that's possible for you, nix the gift and send them some type of really helpful content. So not like helpful content about why they should buy your product, helpful content into what is going to help them in their role that is related to your product. So like if they got hired into, for UserGems as an example, a VP of sales role, congrats on the new role. Here's how this other VP of sales uses UserGems in their first 100 days to take their sales velocity deal cycle from 90 days to 60 days. So some type of helpful content is going to solve a problem that they're already looking to solve. And being unique with your outreach here is really, really important in this use case specifically. And it's because the job change trigger is not new. People are always like, congrats on the new job. And then you could probably open a new VP of sales inbox and they have 800 congrats on the new job emails. So the way to stick out here is to be able to send relevant outreach. We do have a QR code if you're interested in learning a little bit more about gifting in different scenarios to use gifting. Scan this. It's a really awesome piece just to give you a little bit more ideas. If you have a gifting program and you're kind of only using it to send gift cards to reward people for talking to you, there's a lot more strategic ways to be able to use these types of platforms. We use them a ton. So it would be a really interesting read if you have a couple seconds.